The night before the test, I tried so hard. I sat right when I had to read about it. And I went in out of cells.
Okay, in order to understand factoring trinomials, you must understand multiplying binomials, which we've done. I sure think we've done this before. That was when we did something like this. X plus 6 times x minus 2. And if you remember, an acronym we did was FOIL. Remember this? We multiplied the first terms together. You had the outside terms, and then you had the inside terms. And then you multiplied the last terms. No, wait. It's close though. And now it's good. You just pull the black light down. Shake it a little bit. Shake the pan a little bit, sir. Okay, there you go. That's good. That's good.
You got both buttons on.
Leave them on. We'll cook some more. Wait, did you turn it off?
Yeah.
Why?
Alright.
Which means this. This was the process we did to multiply binomials. You multiplied the two first terms together and got x squared, x times x. Then you did the outside terms, which got you a negative 2x, and the inside term, which gave you a positive 6x. Those two combined, because they're like terms, so you end up with a plus 4x. And then the last terms are what you get when you multiply the two numbers together, negative 2 times 6, which is a negative 12. And this is your trinomial. Well, what we're doing today, ladies and gentlemen, and kids of all ages, is you're starting with the trinomial, and you're figuring out what two binomials multiplied together to give you that. And it's not super hard, but it does take a little bit of thought. For example, let me give you one here. I'll just make one up. I think I can probably do this. X squared plus 11x plus 30. And there are some clues and hints and things along the way here, okay? Here would be your thought process. Let me try to see if I can write it down to where you can think about this. Okay, your first step is, okay, you know the first term comes from, this x squared came when I multiplied these two things together here. So there's really, you're going to put down your parentheses for the binomial, because everything here is going to give you a binomial times a binomial. There's only one way to get x squared. You don't have any choices there. Okay? So step number one is you're going to say, hey, what gives me that first term? And for right now, it's going to be pretty cut and dried. It's just x times x. So we're well on our way there. That's something. Make this a little bigger. A little more room to write. Okay. The second thing you have to think about, and when I do this, it will be long and drawn out, but when you get used to this, it will not be anywhere near this long and drawn out. Step number 2, you have to think about what you multiply together to get the last term. And when you do this, you have to consider positives and negatives. In other words, if you go back to what we did way back over here, okay, you know that 4 times negative 12 gave you that, wait, I'm sorry, you know that, where is it? You know that the 6 times the 2 gave you the negative 12. So that's the next thing we have to figure out. Over here, what times what gives me a positive 30? You don't want to write them down there because you don't know for sure which one it is. There are multiple things that would give you 30. And here's what you would think about. Well, I could have a positive 30 times a positive 1. I could have a negative 30 times a negative 1. That would also give me positive 30. I could have a positive 3 times a positive 10. I could have a negative 3 times a negative 10. I could have positive 2 times positive 15, I could have a negative 2 times negative 15. I could have a 5 times a 6, positive 5, positive. I could have a negative 5 times a negative 6. Am I missing any? This one has a lot more than I probably should have went with right off the bat. But there are all those choices that will give you positive 30 if you put them in these two places. But here is the kicker. You have to think, the last thing you have to think about here is this, step number 3. Which of those factors, when you combine or combine, give you the middle term? Question mark. I'll let you write that down and then we shall talk. And here is probably the toughest part here. You have to look at all these different combinations, but only one of them, when you can put them together or add it together, will give you 11 for the middle. See, if I would put negative 3 and negative 10 there, what do I get when I combine a negative 3 and negative 10? That would be a negative 13 middle. I don't have a negative 13 here. I could try, I mean, you could do positive 3 and positive 10, which would give you a positive 13. You don't have that either. You could do 30 and 1, but that's going to give you 29. Or actually, that's going to give you negative 31. This one's going to give you positive 31. Put that together, you're going to get 17 or negative 17. Put this together, I get negative 11. Put this together, I get positive 11. So it has to be x plus 5 times x plus 6. And those could be flip-flopped. You put the 6 there and the 5 there, it doesn't matter. But that's the only combination. Did we do this before? That is the only combination of factors of this that when you add together will give you a that. First day. And if you follow those simple rules, really this is not like super hard or tough. How about this one? Let's use a different letter. K squared minus 4k equals minus 32. K squared minus 4k minus 32. Notice there's no equal signs there, people. You are not solving. You're not going to get k equals. You are just factoring. You're saying what times what will give me that trinomial. So it's pretty simple first term, and they won't always be this simple. When you get to the harder ones, there'll be numbers in front of this, and you'll have combinations there. But right now we start out easy because, well, you can figure out problem 20 on the test. We can't go too hard. What times what gives you k squared, Grace Watson? Yeah, you're okay. K is good. All right. Now you have to think about what times what gives you a negative 32 when combined together gives you a negative 4. Now obviously if it's a negative 32, one has to be negative, one has to be positive. You don't have any choices there. Okay. So you think about what times what gives you 32. You probably are going to rule out negative 32 and a positive 1 because those are going to give you big numbers in the middle. You don't have a big number, you have a negative 4 in the middle that you have to get. So you want to think of something else besides 32. What about 16 and 2? Well, those numbers are going to give you something in the 14 or 18 range, so that's not going to probably be the one. So think of other factors. What else do we get? 32? 8 and 4. 8 and 4 gives you 32. Can you add or subtract them together to give you a 4? Yes. So which one, because this is a negative 4, which one is going to be the negative, the 8 or the 4? David? 8. Yeah. Negative 8 plus 4. Put those two together, you get negative 4. Multiply together, you get negative 32. Just that easy. Oh, there's one there. Why did I do that? How about this one? This is one that gets people all the time. X squared minus 2x minus 3. The beauty of that is there's not many factors of negative 3. So your choices are pretty limited. Well, you figure that out. I want another batch of popcorn. we come up with an answer. I'm pretty sure you probably got the x. Yeah. What times what gives you -3 when you add it together gives you -2? David Swenson?
X plus 1 times x plus 3.
X plus 1 times -3. When you multiply those, do you get -3? Yes. When you add them, do you get -2? Yes, on all counts. Everybody kind of happy with that? Want me to do another one? Get me.
Let's do another one.
What's that?
No, I'm missing.
How about x squared minus 24x plus 144? One of my favorite problems in all the world.
I think this is like as well.
Should you have x minus 3 in the first one?
Yes, these could be flipped over. The parentheses could be in any order. You can't switch the negative. I mean, you could not make the 1 negative and a 3 positive.